You might be surprised to discover that the most powerful habit quietly shaping your life is one you almost never question. It feels so natural, so essential, that imagining life without it seems impossible. And yet you can live without it. In fact, beneath it lies the truest version of who you are. The habit that keeps you confined is constant thinking itself. You have probably tasted moments when it loosens its grip. Those rare experiences when everything flows effortlessly, when awareness moves like a gentle stream. Think of an athlete completely absorbed, fully present, moving without effort. In those moments, there is no inner commentary and no sense of trying to control what comes next. Time seems to soften and lose its sharp edges. Action flows naturally, without hesitation or self-doubt. The body knows exactly what to do before the mind can interfere. What feels so extraordinary in these moments is actually very ordinary. It is a natural state you have touched many times in your life, even if only briefly, when you were fully present and not lost in thought. That is the state where something deeper takes over and life feels clear, alive, and real. The artist disappears into the act of creation, completely immersed in expression. The inventor suddenly receives a breakthrough, a flash of insight that seems to arrive all on its own. This is the space that exists beyond thinking. It is what happens when you step aside and stop interfering. Life itself, an infinite intelligence that is also your true essence, begins to work through you. When this intelligence is allowed to move freely, decisions no longer feel heavy or confusing. You are not forcing clarity, it arrives on its own. The next step becomes obvious without overanalysis. There is a quiet sense of being carried rather than pushing forward. Life starts to feel less like a problem to solve and more like a current you can trust to guide you. It moves you, guides you, and quietly shows you the way. Inspiration flows naturally, without force or effort. Yet we are taught to believe that we must think our way through everything. We analyze our problems endlessly, searching for solutions in our thoughts. We weigh every decision, compare every option, and try to calculate which opportunity is the right one. We worry that if we do not choose correctly, everything might fall apart. This fear creates the illusion that constant thinking is keeping us safe. In reality, it often does the opposite. It pulls us away from the present moment and disconnects us from our inner clarity. Many of the most meaningful moments in life were never planned or calculated. They happened when you were relaxed, open, and not trying to control the outcome. We fear that one wrong step could ruin it all. This constant overthinking keeps us trapped inside a narrow version of ourselves. It blocks the deeper intelligence and endless creative potential that exists at your core. At the most essential level, you are far more expansive than the roles of the thinker and the doer. Through habit and repetition, we learn to identify with those roles, and in doing so we interrupt the natural flow of life. We stand in the way of ease, of spontaneous expression, of the boundless creativity that is your birthright. When that interference softens, life begins to move with a sense of grace. And effort slowly gives way to effortlessness. Life starts to feel streamlined, as if everything begins to align on its own. What is meant for you finds its way to you the moment you stop pushing and controlling. It really is that simple. Everything you are seeking is already included in the simple recognition that you exist. The quiet knowing of I am, the awareness of being here, is the highest truth and the purest quality of presence. This sense of being does not need improvement or validation. It does not require effort, discipline, or achievement. It is already whole and complete. You do not need to reach it through special practices or perfect conditions. It is available in this moment, simply by noticing that you exist and allowing yourself to rest there. From this state, what you truly desire naturally moves toward you, without force and without struggle. There is nothing you need to chase or manipulate. And yet, almost immediately, the mind steps in to limit it. It says, this is what I think I want, this is what I believe is best. All of that can be released. Let it soften and fall away. It is an old pattern. An old game, and you no longer need to play it. It is such a narrow way of experiencing yourself and moving through the world. Freedom and abundance are not things you need to earn. They are what you already are when you stop interfering. When you stop meddling with the infinite intelligence that lives at the center of your being. That intelligence wants to support you, nourish you, and gently guide you in ways that are truly aligned with what is meant for you. Your calling, your purpose, the highest path that belongs to you unfolds from there. And if you already sense this, if you have touched it and even committed to it, yet still find yourself unable to stay with it, that is not a failure. It simply means the conditioning runs deep. Returning to old patterns does not mean you are failing or going backward. It is part of the process of becoming aware. Each moment of noticing is already a shift. There is no need to fight the mind or try to silence it by force. Gentle awareness and patience create far more change than effort ever could. The habit is old, and the pull back into it can feel incredibly strong. If letting go of this one core habit of constant thinking feels difficult, that is completely understandable. Many people struggle with it because the pattern runs deep. This is why there is a simple 3-part model, a technique designed to gently loosen that grip. This approach is not about suppressing thoughts or escaping from everyday life. It is about creating space between you and the habit of constant thinking. Through direct experience rather than theory, it allows you to recognize what is already present beneath the noise. With time and repetition, this space becomes familiar, and alignment begins to feel natural rather than forced. It is something you can apply in your own life. Explore at your own pace, and experiment with directly. Through practicing it, you can experience how powerful it is to step out of compulsive thinking and come back into alignment with your true nature. From that alignment, effortlessness begins to emerge. Abundance and freedom are no longer concepts but lived experiences. What you truly are at your core is allowed to shine, to radiate, to simply be. This technique offers a way to reconnect with that essence and to test for yourself what becomes possible when you stop interfering and allow life to move through you. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments below. And if you'd like to go deeper, make sure to check out the other videos on the channel. There's more waiting for you there. Also, if you feel called to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the video description. No pressure at all. Your presence here already means a lot.